All right, got a brand new hour of stand-up material coming at you. Madison, Wisconsin, September 28th at the Barrymore Theater. September 29th, Turner Hall, Milwaukee. September 30th, Chicago, Illinois in the Chicago Theater. October 1st, Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Fillmore. October 6th, London, England, baby. 2 shows. October 10th, Dublin, second show added. October 11th, Belfast, sold out. October 27th, Baltimore, Maryland. October 28th, Philadelphia. 2 shows. October 29th, Montclair, New Jersey. And then November 17th and 18th, Toronto. ChrisDComedy.com for Tiki Wikis, baby. New Year's Eve's going to go on sale soon. Long Island, we're coming at you, baby. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chrissy Chaos. Today, our guest, one of the best comics in the land, one of the tallest comics in the land, Sam Morril, everybody.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, baby.
Good to see you.
Sammy boy, coming in with your Bodega Cat whiskey.
I'm so excited for you to try it.
Beautiful. Is the label on that? Are we showing the label?
I think we're showing the other side.
Yeah, okay, nice. Pimp set it up where it was just the back of the bottle.
Yeah.
So
now we know he doesn't make eye contact with women.
Yeah, yes. Yes. We thought it was autism. So Sam on the pod. Sammy Babes, you're one of those guys. First of all, I've known Sam since I think day one of comedy, or the first few months at least.
Yeah,
I remember kind of getting into comedy with you. You know, Mark Norman, Sean Donnelly, all those guys.
Yeah.
And now we got the same agent, and we're just steamrolling along.
He's the best.
He is the best. You convinced me to go with him.
He's a shark.
He's a shark. Yeah.
I like a shark. Oh man, we had an incident with Netflix where they weren't posting our clips, and I text him, and the email he wrote, I was like, shit.
Yes. And
that's what you want.
And then guess what? Netflix started posting your clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Netflix special, what was it called again?
Same Time Tomorrow.
Same Time Tomorrow. I watch Same Time. I always forget the names of specials, even from the biggest comics. What it is, but it's because the material is what I look at. And for one of the only times ever in a special, I was like, that's the best set design I've ever seen. Is when you...
By the way, that's the most hurtful thing you could say to a comic. That's literally walking up to a woman and being like, you're a good dresser.
You really know how to hide your ugly. No, the bitch...
Wait, you're great at wearing makeup.
Yeah. No. The comedy speaks for itself. You're one of the best in the biz.
Joking.
But the special was, I texted you. I was like, dude, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. I was like, we have to steal his idea for the next one.
Well, we call. By the way, when our agent met my director, James Webb, he goes, let me get this straight. So you do all this amazing stuff and I don't have to call you pimp?
Yeah.
No, but that was the highest praise. It was this guy's homeless pimp. That's what he was saying.
There it is.
Because everyone knows that Mike is great. By the way, I was running late here today, and I'm trying to text, and I put in pimp into my phone, and then I was like, holy shit, I have him as Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the highest. That's the real you.
I appreciate it.
That's like having, a Batman. It's where's Bruce Wayne?
My daughter, I've said the first day of school, my daughter's when they're like, how's your summer? She's like, good. My daddy works with his pimp in the guest room. and they're like, it happened last year, and the teachers were like, excuse me? She's like, the homeless pimp. You don't know him?
I love that.
Yeah, dude.
It was hard to get out here because at first, I'm coming from the Upper West Side, and the first off, I get an Uber. It's the classic cancel. I get in a cab. They're like, not Staten Island, dude. I go, that's illegal. You can't do that.
And they said no to Staten Island.
No. And then I got into another, and he goes, fine. That's the best I could get. It's fine.
Fine.
No one's happy.
Well, yeah, usually I only get, they'll only say yes if they also live there. If they're I live there anyway, I was going home, then you get a ride. But yeah, Staten Island is one of these boroughs that people really, they hate on it. But look at beautiful view.
It is beautiful.
We got parks here. Dude, you should move out here.
We got parks here.
Yeah.
Have you been to the rest of the country? There are parks. It's not the best selling point.
Dude, Sam, you got to move out. I'm out here. Sal's out here.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson was out here. Vinny Guadagnino.
Pete Davidson, you haven't heard from in years?
Yeah.
That's your sales pitch?
Yeah.
You know that famous guy that we don't talk to at all anymore?
The mafia's out here, dude. Everybody's out here.
The mob.
Speaking of the mob, Jeffrey Epstein's mentor, who once ran a Ponzi scheme, was found dead. He was 77. Interesting. Everybody's dead. Dude, everybody's done. Everybody involved with any high ups, investigations, or they just wind up dead.
It's like that scene in Goodfellas where everyone's just ending up in like meat trucks and you just hear Layla blasting.
Yeah, dude, I know. I feel like, now it's one of those things where, we think like we do the pod every week and like, we talk about the news stories and shit. And then you're just like, yo, it really is like America really does like they have a hit squad. They do.
Yeah.
There's no way around it anymore. And they know that they're untouchable. So they're just like, we're going to kill you. And we don't care how bad it looks.
And he was Epstein's mentor?
Yes.
So that's like, I mean, you hope it's business mentor.
Yeah, I'm sure his family doesn't love that title. They're like, wait, what?
Can we be more specific?
Yeah, I mentored him in tennis when he was a child. What do you mean?
I taught him how to get the best massage. That was my thing.
That's what it is.
That's where I mentored him.
Who's your mentor?
Do you have a mentor, do you think?
I would say, to be honest with you, truthfully, my mentor in comedy, I would say, is probably Colin Quinn.
I knew you'd say that.
He took me under his wing immediately.
Yeah. I think for a period, Artie Lang was kind of your mentor,
He was. Artie Lang. And then there was a period where he was institutionalized, so he couldn't be anybody's mentor. He was legally obligated to be no one's mentor.
But I think there was a period where he was, and then I think it was Colin for you.
Colin,
for sure.
Colin took me under his wing. I feel like if I had to guess, yours would be like Gary Goldman.
Goldman was huge for me for many years.
Yeah.
Attell was huge for me.
Yeah.
I mean, those were guys who really helped me out when I was early on.
And now it's this interesting thing that happens in comedy where it's like we've known each other for so long, but I feel like even though we're as close as we were 5 years ago, we see each other like once a year.
But that's good. We're busy. We're working now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you like my new T-shirt design against baby rape?
Which is what we support here on this podcast.
Well, you know what? Everyone's wearing these virtue signaling shirts that were like, I saw one that said "fuck racism." I see one that say like, against human trafficking, and I'm like, we have to wear shirts now?
Yeah.
So that's why I made the "I'm against baby rape" T-shirt, so people know that I'm a great person.
How did people respond to it?
I didn't. Here's the annoying thing: I didn't actually make it. I just posted it as a joke, and now I'm getting sent all this shit that other people are making it.
Oh my
other
God.
people are making money off my against baby rape idea.
Well, do you want to take some of the money?
I don't know. I don't think I want. I feel weird selling it on the road.
It is it is probably. I'll tell you what. It's one of the only comics merch that I'll willingly buy.
You would wear that out?
No, I wouldn't wear it out, but
That's
I'd
my
have it as a
point.
collector's item. I'd be like, yeah, dude. I'd be like, this is Sam Morril. He's been in prison the last 30 years. But I bought his merch and he signed it.
Somehow I look like gentle, but also weathered at the same time in this photo.
No, you look at the same time. You look sane and insane. And the baby, his hair, the baby looks like a little Joe Mackey.
The baby's balding, like he's got like the little V.
No, it's a good. How did it get a lot of? I'm sure a lot of people interacted with that, right? I mean, how could you not? Yeah,
people
of course,
liked it. Yeah.
2,500 likes. Yeah, 100%. Dude, but I feel like we're living in this world now where it's like you almost got to do stuff like that, not to stick out because it's not that, but it's like we've just like I don't know. It's so the world now, at least with comedy, is like there's just no rules anymore.
I know,
there's just no rules at all.
No, there aren't. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, with that shirt, it was just I kind of didn't want to sell it. My mom saw it on Twitter and was like, if you sell that, I'll be ashamed of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now I can't. I was going to be in my mind. What am I going to be at a merch table in Boca? And I'm just picturing my mom.
Yeah.
Like, shame.
Well, that's the point now we've gone to where like our moms will like find out about our bits. And then it's like, I hate having to like explain to my mom. She's like, I don't understand why you have TT Jerry in there in a bathing suit. And why do you have her? Why does homeless pimp zoom in on her testicles? I'm like, because it gets views, lady. Why do you think your granddaughter's in a private school?
It's just our moms saying we're not artists.
Yeah.
That's all. My mom would do stuff where like I had to block her on Instagram stories because I did a thing in
I blocked my mom too.
You have to. I was in Burlington, Vermont, and some lunatic came up to me in a bar and smashed a pint glass over my head. And the cops showed up, and I'm making jokes about it with the cops on Instagram stories. And my mom keeps calling me. She's like, "You were assaulted, and you're trying to make jokes out of this." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah."
We make jokes.
Mom,
yeah. I didn't have to throw a plug in too. I mean, I was like, I got assaulted 2 more shows this week in Burlington, Vermont. All that and more.
You want to get assaulted with comedy, Burlington. I know, like I some of the stuff that because it's this slippery slope where it's like you know, we don't live in a time where you get like our ticket sales come from just being unfiltered, saying whatever we want, kind of just putting the product out there. It's not like back in the day where it was like, you know, a sitcom and all that, Laura. Like, you know, now it's like we do this, but like the byproduct is like our families. Like I feel like I get yelled at or a talking to or like a text out of nowhere from a family or a friend be like, hey, I was listening to your pod, ... It didn't happen the way you said it, or I didn't find that funny, or I know that person you were talking about was me, and I'm like, oh, just shut the fuck up.
Oh, dude.
Just shut. Do you get it constantly?
Yeah. Well, the closer in my new special is a joke about a kid who got suspended from school for threatening to shoot up the school. And it's 100% true.
It was Gary Veter.
He's like, I really didn't appreciate you talking about that, buddy.
Yeah.
No, there was a kid from my school, and we were teasing him. You know, you kids, you're not thinking anything of it. And we're joking around, and he snapped, and he goes, I'm going to bring a gun to school, and I'm going to shoot all of you. And everyone was like, thanks, Sam, because I was the one who started it.
Yeah.
And he gets suspended. And by the way,
you never say the kid's name.
No,
right?
of course not. And by the way, I saw him. True story. I saw him in the joke. He gets suspended for saying he's going to shoot everyone. Part of the joke is that they're like 2 weeks suspension. And I was like, I don't know who came up with like he's going to murder everyone. 14 days. That'll do it. So that's part of the joke. But it's like, you know, then it was the end of the school year. He didn't come back to the school. I don't see him for 12 years. True story. He's in the front row on a date at the Comedy Cellar with a really hot date, by the way. He's doing fine.
He had a gun to her side.
You better come out with me.
Yeah, you better not sit in the front row. You better not laugh at this comic.
So he comes out after I'm at the olive tree, you know, at the cellar, and he's like, you know, I'm a big fan. It's a lot like that scene in Happy Gilmore, you know, where he shoots the guy in the head with the nail gun. Yeah. And then he's like, no, I actually like you a lot, Mr. Gilmore. That's what it feels like. And he's a really great guy. But we were kids.
Right.
You make mistakes when you're kids.
Right.
And I do feel bad about it, but it's a funny story. So what are you going to do?
But he's a fan now. He's not mad at you about it.
No.
Okay.
I think he's a normal person. We were kids, you know. But I did have people text me like, was it this guy? Was it this guy? Some people didn't remember it entirely. But yeah. You know, and then of course there's a story also where like, you know, we used to jack off together, and that's, you know, we were like, who was in that group? And I was like, well, you didn't make the cut, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
We were very selective with who we beat off with when we were 13-year-old boys.
Yeah, we would scout you in the showers after basketball practice, like, he's not invited.
He's too big. He's going to make us feel bad, that guy.
Yeah. Dude, I went to an all-boy Catholic high school, and like the kind of like reverse kind of homoeroticism that would happen. Pimp knows too. He went to an all-boy Catholic high school. Like I remember there was a kid, the captain of the basketball team. I remember on JV there was freshmen and sophomore. So I was a freshman on JV, and then the sophomore, you know, 15 years old. I was 14. The first day I was still a kid. I went in to take the shower after practice with bathing suit shorts on, and I was like, I'm gonna wash myself with a bathing suit because I'm not comfortable with any of this yet. And then he goes, Chris, you got to take off the bathing suit, and I was like, you know, like I'm just washing myself, whatever. This guy's the captain of the team. He goes, "Why don't you want to?"
The beginning of a gay porno.
I know.
Right?
He goes, "Why don't you want to
take it off?"
He goes, "Why don't you want to take off the bathing suit shorts? What are you, gay?" So he reversed it, and then I was like, "I'm not gay," and then I pulled out my cock,
and then he started sucking.
But it's
Hell
like,
yeah!
It's like this thing.
I'll prove I'm not gay. Get every dick in here.
Dude, I remember there was this kid who he would go around teabagging people. Like I'm telling you, he would pull his nut, he would unzip his khaki
This all sounds like an advertisement not to go to an all-boys school right now.
And he would pull his testicles out and like just his nuts, and he would come and like hit you on the shoulder, hit you on the leg, you would turn around and he would just hit you in the face with just his nuts through his khaki, and he got expelled for that. One day I remember we were all protesting like, that's fucked up, you threw Joe out for that, because when I went to high school,
he sees you 12 years later at a show, he's like, I'm actually a big fan.
Yeah, huge fan. Yeah. He's like, I was in prison 5 years for rape. Dude,
that is the thing you don't think about, is the changing with boys. It is. I was in all boys school too, and it's like when you change with boys, I mean, that's why you also, not to mention, it influences your sense of humor. Like we all have a very dude sense of humor, because it's locker room talk all day. So you're just making dirty jokes all fucking day, and then you have to learn to make women laugh. You're like, oh, there's a different thing.
Yeah. Well, they let girls into my school when I was a junior. So my school that I went to was all boys for 100 years.
Wow.
And then my junior year, they let girls in. And I remember the first day they were letting girls in, like day one, there was a huge protest. The guys were blocking the doors. The guys were like, we're not letting girls in. It's tradition. I was like, this is the gayest thing I've ever been a part of. We're like, no, pussy. Don't let any girls in. But I remember like,
picture horny dudes like gorillas who are just like, ooh,
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But dude, it was like crazy how it all changed. Like even the behavior of the male teachers. Like, dude, I remember being a sophomore in high school before the girls came, being 15 years old. And one of our teachers, he was a great guy. We were like, we would talk about like everything to us. Like, it kind of help us shape as men. And then I remember like there was one day, it was like one of those days where like, like it was like raining out and he probably didn't want to teach. He was probably hungover and he just put a video on, like when teachers do that. And then we're watching a video and then he like pauses the video and we're for some reason, and then somebody starts talking to him about sex, like what sex is like, what it feels like, and he's like, oh, it feels so good. Like he started talking to us about like how good a woman's vagina feels, and he started talking to us about like how you're supposed to like finger a girl, and we were like dying laughing, like it was like locker room like guy talk shit. And then the very next year, like when the girls were in, like he wouldn't even curse. Like if you cursed in his classroom,
He's like, always walk a woman to the door.
yeah. So yes, yeah, always he was like the
When Harry Met Sally is a movie I enjoy very much. And
yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He would just teach us about that. When like the year before, he would just talk to us about like Charlie Sheen. He's like, that's my fucking idol. and wait, what is this? Mom gives birth to twins with different dads after sex with two men on same day. Wait a second. Wait a second.
What?
So she was pregnant with twins, but it was two different sperm. How was that even possible?
oh my God.
Brazil.
Damn.
19-year-old Brazilian woman gave birth to twins 9 months after having sex. It's always Brazilians.
Is it? Is that like the Florida of South America?
Yeah, that is. That girl's got it. Latin Americans gone wild is always in Brazil. That's crazy. What would you do? I mean, what do you do if both dads want to be in the picture? You're just going to have to deal with that. I mean, they're technically not twins then. They're just half brothers.
I mean, this is the sitcom right here.
This is it.
Yeah, the two dads who are just like, hey, our sperms mushed up together. We got two kids, and now we got to coexist.
Yeah, it's me and you. We're the dads. and we're just getting through like...
Oh, it's the Odd Couple, but with jizz.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's the pitch.
You're like a successful comic. I'm a garbage man. Dude, yeah, it is. We should go into CBS and be like, it's the Odd Couple with jizz. Thoughts?
You can't even say jizz at CBS. Even in a meeting that you get canceled for trying to get a show. How would you get a show on network now?
Well, actually, I had a meeting last week, which is crazy because nobody wanted to touch anything about my, we've been doing it our own way here for the past few years, YouTube, a podcast, whatever. But they reached out to me like 2 weeks ago because they were like, heard my comedy in Montreal about like, my family having kids, a transgender person. And they said it's all switching now. They were like, now it's coming back to where like these sitcoms want it to be edgier and dirtier. And they're going away from everything has to be so squeaky clean because I think they're realizing not that it doesn't work for comedy, it just doesn't work for the world. Like
for sure.
The average kid, like my 12-year-old stepson knows like, like politicians are like fucking kids. Like we all know that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he follows Marjorie Taylor Greene on Twitter.
Yeah. He's like, I love her. Yeah.
The head of CBS is the kid who used to teabag all of you. He's like, more teabag shows.
Yeah.
America wants teabag. And they're like, what?
Dude, I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old daughter. And the other day, my 1-year-old daughter, like just, fell because she's a baby. And my 7-year-old goes to me. She goes, Dad, she goes, this baby sucks. I was like, oh my God. He goes, I was like, go to your room, but also hilarious.
That's a great, Blunt is funny.
Yeah.
Blunt is always funny. Whenever you're just like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're bad. Just something that sounds so final about that.
We have to like reel it in like with like my kids because they're just like, they say like, like kind of like too unfiltered. Like the other day, one of her friends was not like getting something like in school, or last week, like the first day, like not understanding. And we were asking like, how was your day, whatever. And she's like, good. And then she's like, we learned about this and that. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then she's like, whatever the girl's name was, Susie. She's like, Susie couldn't get it though. Like Susie just didn't understand. I was like, well, that's, it's hard, honey. She's probably nervous. It's the first day. She goes, do you think she's retarded? And I was like, no, maybe. I was like, she better not be. I'm paying a lot of fucking money to not. We all better not. I didn't know that I was a special needs school. I was like, if she is, I want like a fucking refund because it's like my kid. I mean, shout out if you're retarded, but my kids,
I love that Chris is trying to save this comment right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're one of them Tods, I sympathize.
Yeah, I sympathize. Hey guys, go to ChristyComedy.com. Check out my special. He's got a shirt that says he rapes babies.
Chris is in a meeting like, better not be no here because I'm paying good dough.
Yeah, the people that called me last week for the sitcom immediately reneged the offer. They're like, wait. They're like, no.
I was just in Florida where you can still say that word. So.
Oh yeah, that gets an applause break.
Yeah.
Dude, Florida. We did Florida last year. Remember, we did it for TT Jerry's birthday at Dania Beach Improv, where you just worked. Great club.
Great club. Yeah, they have really good food.
Yeah, I love their food. A lot of comedy clubs don't invest in the food. They invest in the food.
Oh my God! Yeah, when you're at a club and you get a ceviche, you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I'm like, "This is nice.
This is wonderful."
Football's back, which is huge. Lions football is back. Specifically, Pimpy's pulling up a Twitter video where Lions fans are just beating the shit out of each other.
Because they came so close to winning, and now I love when you gotta love a sports franchise. They don't beat up the other team; they beat up each other.
Yeah,
because usually it's like that guy's in an Eagles jersey, get him. In Detroit, they're like, "Fuck you, fuck Ollie." This is like in the Civil War of the South. Is like, let's just turn on each other.
Yeah. They're like, I hate Lions fans, even though I am one. I mean, look at this guy dancing in the middle.
This is the self-loathing. This is what it is like to be like a Lions fan.
Yeah. Just hanging out, chilling. That guy's just dancing his ass off.
Have you guys ever gotten in a fight over sports?
No.
No, I did get a guy tossed from a Knicks game once, because he dumped the beer on my brother. And my brother and I were about to fight him, and then he got tossed. But it was one of those things where I was like, my brother and I can't fight. We're fucking skinny Jews. But we're willing to. And just being willing to is enough. I'm like, my brother's like a lawyer. He's not gonna fuck it. And then we're talking shit to these guys because they dump a beer on my brother, and they're like, "Fuck you." And then I take out my Instagram. I'm like, "You fucking moron, fuck you!" And all the whole section's turning on him with us. And then there was someone in our section who I guess followed me, and they're like, "Keep Sam in, keep Sam in."
Your mom's texting you again. Are you getting assaulted?
But that guy got tossed. But we were ready in that. But that's the only time. No, usually it's all New York sports fans. We love New York sports fans. Also, it's like fighting over sports. Like,
yeah, it's like it feels ridiculous to me sometimes to fight over sports. Where I'm like, like even yesterday in the group chat, my friends were like, I'm a Giants fan, and they won by the skin of their teeth yesterday, but they did win a game.
That was a hell of a game.
That was, dude, literally.
Saquon Barkley fucking rules.
Yo, the guy next to me, I was on a flight.
Me too. I was watching on a flight too.
Dude, I was on a flight watching that game. The guy who was sitting, directly next to me when the Titans missed that field goal, like was so happy and punched his headrest, and the person in front of me's head with that, and she spilled wine all over a kid in front of her. It was like a fucking scene from a movie. I couldn't believe how funny that was. Like,
oh, dude.
Oh, and then I was telling Pimp, that was the crazy. And then we're on the flight. There's boarding the flight yesterday. This is on September 11th. We're boarding the flight.
Yeah.
And the gate is still open, but like we're about ready to go. And then the pilot comes on and he goes, "Hey, San Francisco to JFK will be pretty easy flight." They said we might have to make some flight detours depending on what time, because of course the 9/11 memorial, there's those lights in the sky, so a little bit of airplane traffic, but we should get there on time. And the guy goes to a couple of rows in front of me. I heard him. He goes, "Today's September 11th?" And she was like, "Yes." He goes, "I'm not flying today," and then takes his shit and gets off the plane. Wow. I swear to God, I was like, we all were like,
I hope someone got a first class upgrade over that guy.
I know. Some terrorists.
I've flown on September 11th like the last 5 years. I feel like I'm always flying, and of course, our flight got delayed like 6 hours. No one's helping.
From Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing my mind. I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "You fucking savages, fuck you!" And then someone's like, "I loved your special." I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "Fuck you, Delta, fuck you." I'm like, I'm realizing I can't have public meltdowns anymore. But we're yelling at Delta. Everyone's furious,
of course.
And we have to deplane. Oh
my God!
We have to deplane. Everyone's pissed. I mean, look, it's a safety thing, but no one's giving you information. So
and wait, what was the safety issue on the plane? Did you say
there was smoke coming from the cockpit? Someone yelled "Allah Akbar." I don't know what happened.
Some bullshit.
Yeah. No, but there was smoke coming from the cockpit. We did have to get off, but we were still pissed. Yeah, that's the New York vibe. But we get off, and Yeah, infuriating. I'm yelling at them. I will never forget this day.
This is my new 9/11.
I will never forget what you did to me.
Miracle brand. That's the brand for you. Listen to me. Miracle brand, okay? You have traditional bed sheets, right? All these bed sheets, I'm wondering, why am I always getting a cold? Why do I always have allergies? Because there's bacteria on your freaking bed sheets. Not Miracle brand, folks. Miracle brand, self-cleaning. They're infused with natural silver that prevents 99.9% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer. They're luxurious comfort, okay? Quality, gorgeous. They're better for your skin. Stop. Why do you want to sleep on bacteria? You don't want to sleep on bacteria with your dirty-ass bed sheets. Miracle brand, bacteria-free. No bacteria, and they self-cool. Okay, so in the middle of the night when you get all hot, self-cooling sheets. Right now, they're a great gift for someone, too. If you want to get a nice gift, these are the sheets. Right now, go to trymiracle.com/chaos. That's TRY, miracle.com/chaos. You're going to put in the promo code chaos, and then at checkout, save 40% and get 3 free towels, okay? I know what I'm doing with one of those towels. Then the other 2 are for decoration. Try miracle.com/chaos. Put in the promo code chaos at checkout. Save 40% and get 3 free towels. Backbone. If you're a gamer and you don't know about Backbone, you're really missing out. Okay, Backbone. What it is what you plug your iPhone into the Backbone, and then you can enjoy console quality controls as you play console games via remote player cloud streaming services. Okay, so my stepson has it. He puts his phone into the Backbone, and then he just plays PlayStation all day and ignores me and his mother all day. The officially licensed controller for PlayStation was brought to life in collaboration with PlayStation design team. If you're a gamer, if your kid's a gamer, if your grandfather's a gamer, I'm telling you, get them the Backbone. We're always on our phones. Now we always need to be on our backbones, okay? It is one of the coolest inventions of the 21st century. I'm surprised Elon Musk didn't invent it. Go to Play Backbone. This is the website. Playbackbone.com/chaos right now to order your Backbone for a limited time and get free access to over 350 console games and perks, okay? Backbone is the official partner of Diablo Immortal. Not only is the game specifically optimized for Backbone, will you also receive $10 of in-game perks. Find your next adventure at playbackbone.com/chaos. Send me pictures of your Backbone.
But then it's like, I'm texting my mom and she's like, well, you're not in the Ukraine. You're not in Ukraine. It could be worse. And I'm like, so I can't complain about anything.
Worse than Ukraine. It's better than Ukraine. They're fucking repelling the Russians, probably having the time of their life. They're like, it's probably actually awesome to be in the Ukraine right now when they're just kicking the shit out of the Russians.
They're pushing them back. They're taking back that territory. Let's go. Yeah, it's tough.
They're pushing back.
You can't complain about a bad flight on 9/11 because it's 9/11. Yeah. So it's literally like if you have a story where Bill Cosby was like rude to you.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Did he sexually assault you? No. Then don't tell that story.
Great. Who gives a shit? Yeah, no, dude. It was it is weird to fly on. People definitely were a little somber, but I got to be honest. Last year, this September 11th, it felt like the first time where I feel like people really didn't. Not that they didn't care, but it wasn't as. I don't know. People were kind of like just going about their business. Where every other
it's year 21 now. That's why we made it past the 20-year mark.
Yeah, 25 will get big again.
It'll make a comeback. Yeah, Criterion edition.
Yeah, like I was with Sergio Chacon this weekend, who's great, and it was his 43rd birthday.
Oh wow!
And I got him a cake, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "'Cause it's your birthday." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm 43. Like it." This doesn't matter at all. He's like, I woke up today and forgot it was my birthday.
Well, it's a nice thing to do, though.
Yeah, I was like, but his birthday is on September 11th. He was born on September 11th, and I was like, dude, like, how does that like make you feel?
We were getting the Twin Towers on the cake.
Yeah. I wrote "Way to go." Yeah.
Dude, it's tough. I've had the worst flying experiences lately. American Airlines fucked me so hard. So I got drunk. I miss a connection. I miss a gig because I'm coming from Texas. I have to connect in
missing
Philly.
The gig's the worst.
The worst. I connect in Philly. We're on the ground 2 hours. I'm like, I'm going to miss it. I just know I'm going to miss it. Another public meltdown later. The woman is like, I can get you on this flight from Philly to Chicago. That'll get you to Vermont. 3 flights. And I'm like, I'm still going to miss a gig, but it's my only option. So I'm pissed. I'm drunk on the flight. I just start tweeting drunk.
Good.
And I write like, didn't appreciate being called Jew boy by American Airlines. I shit you not, I get an email from them like 4 days later. We take accusations like this very seriously, and we've conducted an internal investigation. In the meantime, enjoy 7,500 free miles. And I was furious because I'm like, yeah, I made it up, but you think Jew boy's only worth 7,500?
Yeah.
How dare you? That's worth way more.
Yeah, you should see you should really like go for the gold. Like didn't appreciate being called the N-word and see what they give you a plane.
25,000 at least, I would think.
They give you a 747. They're like, take a private charter. No, but
N-word's got to be higher. I would hope.
It is crazy because I thought you were going to say that they take accusations like that very seriously and like they're going to investigate. And if they don't find out that it's true, you're in trouble. Because that's what's going to start to happen. I feel like because so many times I've done that. So many times with JetBlue, I was like, I was tweeting the shit out of JetBlue when my flight got delayed from Puerto Rico. I was like, I'm in Puerto Rico trying to get back my family. I was like, it's just interesting that we have a member of our party who's transgender, and we were told to leave the airport. Like,
well played.
Like things like that.
Yeah.
And like JetBlue never responded. And I was kind of thinking, even Jasmine was like, I think you can get in trouble for this shit at some point because like you're not gonna. Like it's not true. And they probably have recordings of you on the JetBlue phone, on the phone with JetBlue, where like they didn't say that at all.
They just have footage of you pounding whiskeys.
Yeah,
just shit face sprawled out.
Dude, this was hilarious. This Southwest Airlines passenger who airdropped. Oh, this is another one because we talked about this 3 weeks ago. No. He airdropped nudes to other flyers, which that could always be like hold up in court as an accident though. Like you can always. Just say I didn't mean to do that.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, and it's
but don't you just press airdrop? Everyone, can that be a quick slip of a finger? No.
I don't know if you can let that fly.
That's a ballsy, no pun intended. That's a ballsy thing that you to just send nudes and they're on the flight. I guess it's hard to on a flight to know who's doing it.
I'm impressed that Southwest Wi-Fi worked. That people even got it.
Someone had to spend $11.99 for 30 minutes just to get that dick pic.
Oh yeah, just for some old dick. Dude. So you're one of those guys who you're on the road. Like, are you on the road every weekend a month now?
It's insane. Yeah, I ran into Neil Brennan at the Comedy Store in LA, and he's like, how are you on the road so much? And I was like, I just never feel good, ever. What do you mean, like, how am I? You just feel terrible all the time. I can do it when everything goes right, but when I have days like yesterday and there's like a 7-hour delay, I mean, we had to fly out of a different airport. This never happened to me where they're like, here's a code for a lift and you can take a lift to another airport. And of course they get picked up by this woman who's hilarious. So it's like you hit rock bottom and this woman immediately like hands me, she's like, icebreakers gum. And I'm like, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
I'm back, baby.
I feel terrible. I feel terrible that you had like a horrible flying day on 9/11, got called a Jew boy, and then you had to wake up the next morning and take an Uber to Staten Island.
I was excited for this.
Oh,
you know what's good about doing your podcast in Staten Island? It's like, it's such an event to get here that once you hear, you're like, land. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
And once you come out all the way to Staten Island to do a podcast, 2 podcasts, like you don't have to do anything else in your day. Like you have fulfilled a day. You've lived a full day.
Yeah, dude.
You've come through and done it. We love basketball so much. I want you to talk about Tim Donaghy. Did you see? Oh, sorry. That's it. That's his spirit. Did you see the Untold documentary about his gambling?
I listened to the podcast where Michael Imperioli does the voiceover whistleblower. I think it's the same story, but I haven't seen I saw the Manti Te'o one. I haven't seen the Tim Donaghy one.
Dude, so if you guys don't know, in 2007, there was like this big betting scandal, right? And Tim Donaghy is the one who got, a ref who got caught being involved with some mobsters in Philly, that he was actually giving insider info to the mob to like throw games, and they were winning all this money, which of course is highly illegal. But the wild part about the story is that what I didn't know, which I don't know if I'm sure the Michael Imperioli thing covered this, that it was rampant through the NBA. There were like 15 refs and coaches and all this whole big operation. And David Stern didn't want it to go public, so he just pinned it all on Donnie. He said he's only going to do, he did like not even that much prison time, like a year, and it went away. But this was like a rampant, like as bad as like FIFA soccer. Like this was, the NBA was so corrupt in the mid 2000s. I had no clue. And he said he was making $400,000 a year. Because I have a friend of mine who's an NBA ref. He's like, dude, you make money, but it's like, he was like, I'm always, every year I do it, I'm kind of like, should I get a summer job? Like, you know, like, like, you don't, like, you think just.
Yeah, you have like a teacher schedule almost.
Yeah,
right?
like you think just because you're working as a pro ref, you're going to make all this money, and you don't.
And it's so hard to make it to the NBA as a ref.
Yes.
Like, that's another thing. So it's a hard, and also you see those guys are in shape. Like remember
Hell
like
yeah.
Dick Bavetta? That guy was like 90 years old, and he was like just sprinting up and down the court.
Remember when he raced
game.
Charles Barkley?
Yeah, that
Can
was
you pull up
hilarious.
Dick Bavetta, Charles Barkley
And then
race?
they kissed on the mouth.
Did they?
You don't remember that? That
Why
was
did
the
they
best
kiss
part.
on the mouth?
Dude, at the end of it, they
Who's
kissed.
he, Bad Bunny?
Look at this. He absolutely kissed him on the mouth.
Let's.
At the end of it.
It's 9 minutes.
No, the race was. I thought he would do better because everyone's like Charles is fat, and then you forget he was a pro athlete.
He was a pro athlete. I know Dick Bavetta like dove right and like was like bleeding from his knee. Yeah.
This is amazing.
Oh, this was in 2007. Oh, Bavetta probably lost because Donnie had money on the game. He threw it.
I heard when he was in prison, he was fixing gang rapes.
Oh, look at Charles Barkley. This is hilarious. I don't think either one of us could beat Charles Barkley in a foot race.
No
now.
way, no way. I mean, I don't think I'm not fast enough. He was a pro. He was so fast in his prime.
Yeah, when you're an NBA athlete, I don't care how like out of shape you get, or any type of pro athlete. I don't care how bad your life gets. You're just still. It's so insanely hard to make it professional. Anything. Look at this.
Maybe we could now, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. He's also Charles Barkley is not even running fast, and he's like killing him. He's not even running hard. He's genuinely not even running hard.
Although Bavetta's not doing bad for a guy that age.
No,
That's not bad.
look at.
He barely won because he went backwards. And look, they kiss in the mouth here.
Where? I kind of love that.
It's like an old school guy thing.
Julius Irving's like, did they just kiss on the mouth? Dr. J's like, holy shit.
That'd be great if they just made out full on.
Honestly, like at that point, like, I mean, because he was already retired, Dick Bavetta, right?
I don't know. He might have still been reffing.
Is Dick Bavetta dead?
I hope not.
God, I hope not.
I hope he wasn't one of the guys fixing it too. I love it. It's adorable.
Dick Bavetta ref 39 years, dude.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's so that documentary was just fascinating because it's kind of like, you know, like with
He's in his 80s.
with like gambling and like fixing games, like how easy it is. And like what was mind blowing to me is like how the NBA athletes in all professional sports, they're so good that literally it's like just a game of inches. Like, you know, Tim Donnie would say, you know, I saw Allen Iverson with an ice pack on his ankle in the locker room. So bet against. Or this this coach had an outburst against this ref last week. So he's not going to give him any calls. Bet against, and they would always win because it's literally just like that much of a thing gives you an edge. Like, you know, in CYO or like high school, it's like it doesn't matter the edge. Like if your team sucks, you're gonna get blown out. But in pro sports, like home matters, away matters, all these things matter. And it was like crazy to see how, like, you know, these guys, I don't know if you didn't see The Untold. They never talked about this, but one of the mafia guys that Tim Donnie was involved with, he was like 400 pounds when Tim Donnie was involved with him. And then in the interview in present day, he lost all that weight. And I was like, what is this guy's secret to the weight loss? I'm listening to talk about the mafia and how he fixed games for Tim, and I'm like, yeah, but what did he do? Is he intermittent fasting? Because like it's so shockingly obvious how skinny he got.
That is hilarious when there's just like a massive change. Also, dude, they just cost the fucking Kings a championship. You know how badly Sacramento needed that as a city?
Literally, homeless people are lighting the city of Sacramento on fire right now. They could have. That's like a big thing that's happening. I was just in San Fran. They were like, yeah, Sacramento's up in flames. Do you know the whole part of all of Northern California is on fire again?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why do people live in California? Why do you live in the West Coast? I feel like Jesus is just showing us to be like, I created the 13 colonies for a reason. There's no reason that any of you have to go west, north, or south. These were the 13 to live in.
The wildfires, I remember it was a couple years ago. It was like Miley Cyrus, Gerard Butler, Robin Thicke. All their homes lit on fire. And I was like, who started this fire? Critics?
Yeah.
Who's next?
I don't see a guy
Rob
with
Schneider?
a belt anymore. Sam Morril's got a belt on. Yeah, I never even think about putting a belt on. Do you ever wear a belt, pimp?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
okay.
You don't
I
wear a
guess I'm
belt?
still too fat.
Really?
No, I think I'm more a drawstring guy. I'm kind of done with jeans.
Really?
I'm into athleisure now and kind of sweatpants, like tapered sweatpants. But you're a jeans guy.
I would love to get into. I just need someone to take me shopping. I don't really know what to get. So if someone was like, "I'll take you shopping and get you tapered sweatpants,"
Pimp will do it.
We'll do a day of it.
Yeah, let's go. We'll
All
take
right,
TT.
Yeah, you'll look like Tekashi 6ix9ine. Imagine. Yeah, Sam's changed, man.
I would love to get a face tattoo, blonde hair. You're like, Jesus, his comedy's weird now.
Yeah.
I would love to get the tapered sweatpants. I think they look cool. When you see those NBA players in them, you see like James Harden in those like tight little sweats. I think it looks cool.
They look good. I got a lot of dress shirts that I'm not a fan of. I actually just did a full clean again. I completely did a clean sweep of my closet, got rid of 80% of my clothes. The only clothes, one of the only dress shirts that I did not throw away or give to Salvation Army, honestly, are the shirts from Mizzen and Maine, okay? Mizzen and Maine, they've been with this podcast a long time. They've sent me a bunch of shirts. Thank you, I appreciate it. But now I've actually used my own promo code to go buy their product because I love their shirts so much. You see me in Mizzen and Maine a lot. Mizzen and Maine, it is the company was born when Mizzen and Maine's founder saw a sweat-drenched DC staffer running into a meeting, wrinkled, stained, exhausted. He was just like, ugh, gross. He thought his shirt needed a refresh. So that's why he made the world's first performance fabric dress shirt. It's one of those dress shirts. It's like almost athleisure, but in a dress shirt. You know how I'm always wearing the athleisure pants? Now I got the athleisure shirts with Mizzen and Maine. They make really, really comfortable men's clothing that you need to try to believe. I'm telling you, it's a good gift for you. It's a good gift for a spouse. It's just good product to have. Mizzen and Maine, they are machine washable. You know how like shirts just shrink in the wash? And not Mizzen and Maine, machine washable. No more expensive trips to the dry cleaner. You don't have to do it. They have over 30,000 five-star reviews. Come on. I love Mizzen and Maine. And right now, you're going to love it too because I'm going to give you a sweet discount for listening to this podcast. Go to Mizzen and Maine, that's MIZZENANDMAIN.com and use the promo code CHAOS. That's MizzenandMaine.com, promo code CHAOS, $25 off, okay? That's almost like a free shirt, $25 off when you go to MizzenandMaine.com, promo code CHAOS. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. I love HelloFresh. They got the 20-minute meals. They got the low prep. They got the easy cleanup options. It takes the stress out of mealtime with time-saving, no-fuss recipes ready in a snap. We're sorry, I'm choking on HelloFresh. I'm eating it while I'm doing the ad read. In fact, HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout. It's even cheaper than grocery shopping too. You literally have no reason to not use HelloFresh. If you're eating, which you should be eating 2 to 3 meals a day, if you're intermittent fasting, maybe one big one, you should be eating from HelloFresh. It saves money, it tastes great, and you learn how to cook, and it's family friendly. I love it. You can customize your meals, meats, veg, whatever the hell you want. HelloFresh is just the best, and fall is the perfect time to cozy up with some delicious sweets. Get the whole family involved with HelloFresh's limited edition, kid-friendly baking kits, okay? Bake with your kids, people. I love HelloFresh, and right now, if you go to HelloFresh.com/chaos65 and use the code chaos65, you're going to get 65% off plus free shipping, okay? That's HelloFresh.com/chaos65. Use the code chaos65, 65% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Yeah, man. Do you want kids, Sam?
I think I need a woman first, but if I meet a woman who would be a good mother, I would. I don't want to just have kids for the sake of having kids. I want to, I don't want to be one of those.
You'd be
parents.
a great dad. I feel
Really?
I feel like you'd be that dad. Like if someone like was making fun of your kid, you just send them into kindergarten with roast jokes, and they would just be roasting kids for like having speech impediments and shit.
I still have copies of Snaps. Remember Snaps?
Snap, yeah.
Your mom is so old, she don't have milk in her tits. She's got sour cream. Remember those? Your mom's legs are like peanut butter, smooth and easy to spread. I had those locked. People thought I was a genius because I just came up with those locked and loaded.
You were just a hack.
I was a hack. I was a Snaps joke thief in the second grade.
Well, dude,
Remember
how
those
about
bits?
I go because in San Francisco, I was doing the shows, we're having fun, and the Queen had just died, and so I said, "Oh, the Queen died. That's what's upsetting." I said, "The Queen died," and I was like, "I heard Hillary Clinton killed her." Like I was doing Hillary Clinton, joke, and it was all fine getting left, but then some guy from England was like, he came to the meet and greet after the show, and he was like, "Hey man, big fan." He goes, "Just want to let you know, if you do those jokes in England or Northern Ireland, someone like may try to kill you. It'd be like you cannot." He goes, "There's no comparison to the Queen like that you guys have. Like it'd be like," he told me, it's like, it literally be like on 9/11 making fun of like dead victims of 9/11 to their faces."
That's their problem, is that they have no frame of reality.
Yeah.
To equate it to 9/11, and guess what? No one in those towers was 96 years old that I know of. Okay, it bothers me. And like, look, no disrespect to Brits. I had the same thing happen. I was making Queen jokes, and a British
We
guy
all
had a
were. How
problem.
could you not?
And I said, "Get this guy a Newcastle and tell him to shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
And so I bought him a Newcastle. But
Hilarious. The most British thing. Yeah. You're like, get this guy a meat pie in Newcastle.
So then, no, I mean, you hear what Boris Johnson said. He said, "This is the worst thing. This is the darkest day in England's history." I was like, you guys made it through the bubonic plague.
Yes, you also got you were bombed by Adolf Hitler for months. What are you
That
talking
was the
about?
actual darkest day. That was the darkest hour.
Yes, a 96-year-old. I understand the Queen, but it's also like, listen, I get the pomp and circumstance. I get it. It is kind of cool, like bloodline going back all these years. Fine. But
Sure.
I was like, I said to the guy too, I was like, dude, I think that's like a little ridiculous to compare the Queen of England to 9/11. I'm not saying she wasn't in it with the Saudis, but he was like, "No, I know." He goes, "It's silly." He goes, "I've lived in America for so long. It's silly." He goes, "But I'm just trying to protect you." And he also said, because I have a lot of jokes. So I'm like, "Oh, my dad thinks I'm gay." He goes, "If you do that in Belfast," he goes, "I'm telling you, if you do that in Belfast,
They'll suck your dick. They'll suck your dick in Belfast.
No, he said it'll like make the local news of like comedian, spewing homosexuality."
Wow.
Like he said, that's how crazy it is, like in other parts of the world still. So he said, he was like, dude, for me as a former guy who lived in Europe, who lives in America now, he goes, I always laugh like when comedians or people say like they're being silenced and this and that. He goes, like in Europe, like if you like, you still can't like be openly gay in certain parts of like first world Europe.
Wow.
I was like, interesting. I was like, I got to move there.
That's what parts? That's so weird.
I don't know. He was like, that's what. Imagine this guy is like just a piece. Like it's all a lie. Like he's like the fucking like Ben Shapiro.
I've been to Europe. There's some pretty gay dudes there. I don't know.
I know. Yeah.
What
I was like, I always have a good time on Grindr when I go to the UK.
I hate when they're like literally. I don't know, dude. Look, no disrespect to the Queen. You're British, whatever. But like, darkest day when you've been through the shit. They like. Can you imagine going back? Like, oh, your children. Did more children die? No, a fucking 96-year-old covered in diamonds, surrounded by her loved ones. Maybe not the worst day in history. Also, I don't know, man. Like. Look, as Americans, like Kobe fucked us up. That was
bad.
That was like, okay, that's a dark.
Yeah. That was a dark day.
It's like making a Kobe joke today, Ari. But
yeah.
I love you, Ari. But what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the comparison. I love Ari.
Yeah.
I do love him.
I know Ari's one of Ari. I remember because Ari is we all love him. But I remember hearing him on a podcast once. He was like, I think I took the Kobe thing too far. And we were like, yeah.
I remember I was walking down the street with him right after we're like leaving the stand. He goes, "Oh, I'll walk to the cellar with you." Literally, people on the street would recognize him from that, and I was like, "I'll call a cab."
Yeah. See you later.
I'm gonna walk.
Yeah, I'd rather get in Kobe's helicopter than have to keep walking with you.
Dude, it was, I will say there's a great interview with Bill Maher and Piers Morgan. I forget what it's from, but hearing Bill Maher he's just so disrespectful to the Queen. This months ago, and he's just like, "Oh, she's an old bag." and Piers Morgan's like, "You're disrespecting her. You're disrespecting the Queen." He's like, "Oh, please."
Yeah, you old bitch. I know.
Fuck her.
I liked. Well, I mean, people went crazy. Did you see? Like, there was even that woman who like tweeted like, "Oh, I hope her death was excruciating," and then like,
let's all settle down.
I know they were talking about it on The View. Like, Joy Behar was like debating it. Like,
it's sad when people die. But also we don't have to make it like this is the saddest moment in history.
Yeah, it's like
there's a middle ground that's not insane.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if she was a comedy fan.
I don't think so. I also don't think she was. I can't imagine she was a fan of The Crown.
No, that didn't shed her in a good light.
They didn't like that, I'm sure.
Look at this. What is this? Prince Charles seeing her mom on her deathbed. So what are these memes? Prince Charles is now like going to be a king at like 73 years old. That's got to suck too. Where it's like you're just waiting to be like the king your whole life. He's gonna die any minute too.
Yeah, but it's weird because you have to root for your
mom to die.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, that's a weird one.
They were blaming it on Meghan, her death. Everybody
because she started a podcast or something.
No.
Your queen,
#1 on Spotify.
I can't. She can't do it. Wow. I mean, yeah, it is. So there could be a scenario though, like there is a way for Meghan Markle to like she is in a path where she could become the Queen of England somehow, like King Ralph.
Really?
She's our King Ralph.
Yeah, basically, I think his brother has to say, "I don't want to be king," and then he can be king.
Interesting.
But that's not going to happen.
No, Prince William. It's Charles, King Charles, and Prince William.
It's so outdated. It's so weird. I mean, like to get something only because your parent that big, only because your parent dies.
Right. Or you can only be born into it. I feel like the only thing we have similar to the royal family in America is the Hasidic Jews. you have to be in the bloodline.
I don't think a group of people can be like, do not make Hasidic Jew jokes.
I love that. I love that
Jews.
like Moshe Kasher is Hasidic Jews, Meghan Markle. They're like, look at because Moshe Kasher left the Hasidic Jewish community and now he's just like doing comedy and they must be like, ugh. Disgusting.
Wow, that's true, yeah.
Speaking of fucking hot bitches.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Speaking of, I'm calling Moshe Kasher a hot bitch. Damn, I'm really drunk off this Bodega Cat. That's what it is.
You gotta try it. It's great.
All right. You want some?
I'll have a little, yeah. Why not?
I'll have a little, but I am, I'll put it in my fitness pal. I'm intermittent fasting.
Are you?
Yeah. It's hard intermittent fasting. You ever done it? Well,
No.
You're in good shape already.
You don't think so? I'm thin. I'm not in good shape.
No, but I'd rather be thin.
Really?
Let me ask you a question. Here's how you know if you have metabolic disease. There's 5 things. I'm going to ask the room. Here's how you know if you're fucked or not. It doesn't matter weight. Weight is so outdated. Here's how you know if you're healthy or not.
Yeah.
These are the 5 things. Is your blood pressure less than 135/85?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. V, no idea?
I don't know.
No idea. Okay, so
What,
that's
what, we at the doctor yesterday? What do you?
blood pressure. So I'm going to say yes. 2, your triglycerides. Have you ever gotten your triglyceride count?
I don't know anything about dinosaurs.
Okay. 3, your waist size for a man over 40 inches waist, women over 35-inch waist. Anybody? You're good. So everyone's good with that.
I'm good, yeah.
Then your glucose, your fasting glucose is the thing. Don't know if it's above 100. It's a problem. The final number.
Who's taking these notes?
Your good
What are you talking
cholesterol.
about?
Your good cholesterol. The HDL cholesterol has to be above 60. Your good cholesterol has to be high and your bad cholesterol has to be low. So those are the 5 things. Okay. So anyone at home, I might have just saved someone's life.
I don't know how you take your cholesterol. Don't you have to go to a doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Well, we can measure. Do we have a tape? I want to get a tape measure, and I want to measure every guest's waist size.
Okay.
All right.
And when they come in, then a year from now we'll measure it again, and we'll do a segment called "Fat Bitch" or "Skinny Mini."
You're going to be fat shaming the guests?
I can't open this.
Let me do it.
Who knows how to open it? I'm trying to open that. Oh, there it is. Yeah. See, you're stronger than me. You're a man.
That's not strength. That's literally just.
Oh, I thought you were going to pour it in your coffee. I was like, Sam's a real piece of shit.
How hard was it to
There
get
you
this
go.
made?
Let me get one too.
Yeah. There we go.
Do you guys want some?
I'll steal some after.
This is Bodega Cat whiskey, which right now, where can they find it right now?
You said it. BodegaCatWhiskey.com.
BodegaCatWhiskey.com.
Cheers.
BodegaCatWhiskey.com is where you can find it.
We sold out of our first shipment already. We're crushing it.
Sold out,
and it's gonna be legal in your state soon. Right now, it's just for delivery. But dude, people are loving the Bodega Cat.
Bodega Cat, and then we're gonna get it. It might be in at certain comedy clubs. We might try to get it in City Field. We're gonna do it. We're gonna push
City
Bodega
Field,
Cat whiskey.
Dude, I want to see some drunk dads.
Yeah,
screaming at Pete Alonso.
Yeah,
swing you pussy. I'm sorry, it was the Bodega Cat.
Dude, this woman, she says her hairy armpits earn her $20,000 monthly. They're $20,000 a month just because she has hairy armpits. How do you think that makes some of our comic peers feel? They're like, I've had Patreon for 6 years. I make $90 a week.
$20,000
yeah.
is a lot.
That's a lot of money for just having hairy armpits. And I'm not into that. Are you into Bush?
I'm not, honestly. Like,
really?
Look, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, bush in the armpit. That's not bush. That's armpit hair. A bush in the vagina area. I always think of that scene in Revenge of the Nerds, when they're... Yeah. By the way, every scene in Revenge of the Nerds is like a sex crime now. You rewatch, you're like, this is a Law and Order SVU episode. Yeah. They're doing the hidden cameras in the women's dorm, and they're just like, we've got Bush.
Yeah.
We've got Bush. As a kid, I was like, yes.
Well, that's like...
now you're like, geez, this is rough.
I remember I was like, in my early 20s, whenever the first time I had a roommate was, or multiple roommates, so 23, 24, and one of my roommates, like the guys who lived, there was it was hard to explain. It's like we had 2 apartments in the same building, but we all it was like open door policy, but the roommates who lived in the apartment across the hall, if one of them hooked up with a girl or got a lucky, met a girl at a bar and whatever, hooked up, when she was leaving, the other roommate would blow that vuvuzela thing and go like a we got one winning, and like they would all like laugh and high five. And I remember I sometimes think about that now. It's like they'd probably go to prison for that today.
I don't know about that, but it's not.
But it's still like you would never even, like a 25-year-old kid wouldn't even think about doing that today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fun's over, boys.
Those movies now, Porky's. I mean, remember Porky's? He sticks his dick through the hole in the shower.
God.
I mean, there was a whole generation of kids who were like, yes!
Yeah, Animal House,
all those. And now, what are they going to do for like those sex comedies now? They're just like, did you hook up with her? You're like, no, it was only the first date. And you're like, good. That's the movie.
It's crazy. It's probably a Justin Long movie now.
Yeah. I love those raunchy comedy. I mean, I guess The Hangover is kind of like that.
Well, like one of the funniest, and I get why you can't say it now, but again, it's just one of the funniest, and I think even gay guys will laugh. This one of the funniest scenes of any movie of all time is in the beginning of Old School when Luke Wilson's character gets into the back of the cab and he's like your seatbelt's broken. What would you recommend? And the cab driver turns around and goes, I recommend you stop being a pirate.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now they
Can you imagine pitching that script now? And it's like, oh, that was it's page 1 of the script.
Yeah,
they're just like, yeah, we're done here. Yeah, we're good.
No thanks.
I met Luke Wilson once on Conan. He was a great guy.
Both Wilson brothers seem like they're awesome.
They're both incredible too. Owen Wilson, like, he's not as many movies now, but like he had a run where you're like, this is Owen Wilson in Zoolander is one of the funniest performances ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on another level funny. Luke is great. He did like that Luke Wilson voice. I had to set on Conan. I just had a breakup and it was all about the breakup. So it was like Angry Sam on Conan, and it went well.
I love Angry Sam.
I'm in the green room and Luke Wilson's just there. He's like sidles up to the door like very Luke Wilson style, and he goes, I'm going to keep my eye on you. I was like, wow. Yeah. Luke Wilson. He was so nice. We chat for a while, and he was so nice.
You know who else is really cool? Seth Meyers.
I could see that.
Seth Meyers was so cool. I remember when only time I did the show, just like in the green, like I did Letterman. He never talks to you, and then which is fine, but never you just don't see him, whatever. And then my next experience was with Seth Meyers, and Jasmine was 9 months pregnant, or like 8, like at the end, like maybe 8 months, maybe even the beginning of 9 months pregnant with my older daughter, Delilah. And Seth came in, he was so nice. And like, he goes, oh, pregnant? He goes, first child. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and then he says to Jasmine, he goes, can I feel it? She was like, of course. So he he goes down, he's like so beautiful. And then he whispers into her stomach, he goes, your daddy bombed. it was amazing. Would that be funny? We were dying laughing.
Would that be funny if he just kept going? He's whispering, he goes, I'm going to fuck your mom.
Yeah. Yes, your mom's hot.
That's cool that he's like a comic like that.
Yeah, he was a
like,
comic.
he's
That's
got
what I'm saying.
that,
He was a comic. And then, like, right after he said that, like, laugh or whatever. And then he said, he was like, dude, he goes, listen, he goes, right before you come on, I'm going to stop the show, you know, like fully stop the show. I do it for every comment. I'm going to tell them how hard this is and how amazing this is and how, you know, only the best comics get this opportunity and they're going to be fucking ready for you.
That's such a classy move.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Not every late night host does that. I remember Fallon did it once when I was in the green. I had to follow Cory Booker, which like, you think I want to follow Hope? You don't want to follow a politician. It's brutal. Yeah. So he goes on. It's all like, here's how I'm going to fix the... And you're just like, I'm going to...
Yeah, because you're also like, no, you're not, Cory.
He was... Dude, I'm going on after Cory Booker. He goes out, he goes... This next comedian, like, it's just very hard, Fallon being such a nice guy. And then he goes, and his mom is here. And guess what? I still fucking bombed. So apparently they didn't give a shit that my mom
was there.
Was in the room.
I know Fallon, you talked to Fallon, he doesn't even remember doing it because he was fucking hammered.
He is one of the nicest guys,
Jimmy Fallon...
too. All those late night hosts are good dudes. I don't know what, and I'll tell you, it's funny that you had that. You did Letterman, I think, when he was like at the point of that show when he was kind of phoning it in, where he was like been doing it 25 years. Because I did the Netflix thing with Letterman, and he was the warmest. Dude. It was insane how cool he was.
Yeah, you could tell. Well, that was a great interview on the Letterman Netflix that Sam did. Great set, great interview. And I remember watching it being like, you know, even his look, the beard, how chill he is. I was like, oh, I'd like to meet him now because I didn't feel any slighted by it. He didn't talk to anybody. He talked to no comics.
He'd been doing it for 30 years and it was just every night. And now he doesn't do it often. So I think he actually is excited to do it again.
He gets excited, yeah.
And he was the warmest, coolest guy. Like Letterman chilling in the green room, like fascinated by how we have to do comedy now. Because when he came up, as you said before, it was like all about the sitcom, and Letterman is like, oh, it's all about the sitcom, you know, for us. So how do you make money when you put out a special for free? And I was like, what are you making on the road? He goes, you can make money on the road. Like, it's all foreign to them.
Yeah. Like all those guys, like I remember once my dad, we were talking, somebody said something about like, you never want to meet your heroes. And my dad was like, guys who make it, he goes, in anything, in sports and in entertainment, they're all good guys. He was like, it's the same thing like the mafia. The made guys are never going to hurt you. It's the wannabes. It's the guys who didn't make it. It's the wannabe. They want this so bad. They're the ones who are always dicks. So anytime I meet anyone insanely famous, they're usually so warm and cool because they're like, what do I have to be upset about? It's the guys who think they should be bigger that are always pieces of shit.
That's interesting. I also disagree that made men have never hurt anybody.
Yeah. Well, they only fuck with you if you fuck with them.
Not reckless. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. It's the, it makes total sense.
That was my dad's advice always. Watch out for wannabes.
That's a great.
He was like, those are the only guys who are going to hurt you. Wannabes are the guys that you got to just look out for.
Put that on a fucking mug. That's perfect. Watch out for wannabes.
Watch out for wannabes. That's a shirt idea.
That's maybe good.
We could. Let's both sell our shirt
against baby rape. Watch out for wannabes.
Who's going to win?
I'm like, I am getting torched by the wannabes here. This is it's a good point, man. Most of the big guys are, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't recall a time that anybody has been like just a huge... I'm trying to think if anybody's been a dick to me.
Would you name them by name if you could remember?
Yeah, I would if I could remember somebody who was just like, oh, dude, you know who's a dick?
Who?
Fucking Joey Chestnut.
Really?
Yeah, the wing eating guy.
Yeah.
He was kind of a dick to me.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't. But in fairness, he didn't know. It wasn't anything like we were supposed to do anything together. I just saw him in Buffalo, and I was doing shit like Helium Buffalo, and I was like, Joey Chestnut. I was like, it's wild Buffalo wings in Buffalo or something like that, like silly, whatever. And he just like turned around and like, I forgot exactly what I said or what I did, but I remember like him just looking at me, like being like, I fucking hate that guy. And I remember just getting like a bad, I think I may have said something like, I like the Japanese guy anyway. Better or something like that. Like I remember saying something stupid to him. So I guess kind of now that I'm talking about it out loud, it was my fault.
Also, you might have thought you were fucking with him. Like that from a distance, it's hard to tell probably.
Yeah. I remember one time I was shooting that show Benders, which was on for one season on IFC, and me and Andrew Schultz were on the street in Astoria shooting a scene, and it was like the camera was down, but it's like in public, and some guy was walking by with flowers. Like, and, just look at a guy, and me and Andrew were there, and like, I said something to him. I was like, oh, did you fuck up last night? Like, like with, flowers. And then he turned around, he's like, what did you say to me? A Russian guy. And I was like, I was just joking. Like, did you fuck up last night with the flowers? And he was like, how do you know I'm not giving flowers because I just killed someone. I bring it to their family. And I was like, or that. I was like, it could be that. And then Schultz like stepped in because I think this guy was like terrifying. Like he was like a little bit like, I was like, and so I was like, oh, we're just kidding around. He goes, we're actually shooting a show. So if you could just step away or whatever. And then he stepped to the side and just like watched the scene go by, but it was just fucking like, he wouldn't leave. So I was like, oh shit. And I remember one of the directors being like, hey sir, if you don't move, we're going to have to call the police. And then he like walked away slowly. But I was like, yo, this guy, like if you fuck with the wrong person, even just like a little joke, you can get hurt for that.
Yeah, it's tough because like part of being a New Yorker is that jokey stuff, but the other part is kind of knowing when to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I remember I was on the train with Steve Fabricant from The Cellar.
Love
the
Steve.
door
Outside
guy.
Steve.
Outside Steve, and we're on the train going uptown back in the day, riding the train, and the guy gets on the train and starts fucking with everybody, and Steve starts like zinging him, and I'm like, you don't zing a dude on the train at 2 a.m., dude. I'm kind of getting pissed at him. I'm like, this dude's unhinged.
Yeah, don't
and Steve's
do
like kind of making fun of him. He's like, oh, okay. I'm just like, dude, you don't fuck. What do you want to like roast battle a dude with like who's on meth?
Yeah, it's so. I know it's my.
I remember we got into a fight about it, and he was like, later he was like, all right, I hear you, but I was like, that's not New York. You don't fuck with people.
Yeah, don't.
They're fucking with you. And it's like, you have to, you do something. But if they're fucking with you and you don't have to do anything, you let them be crazy.
Dude, I saw once in traffic I was driving with my dad, and there was like some guy like road rage, cut off, whatever. And guy, whatever altercation, started screaming at another guy. And then one guy got out of his car and started beating the shit out of the driver with the club. Remember the club that used to put across your steering wheel? This guy just started getting his fucking head bashed in with the club. And my dad was like, that's why, you don't say nothing to nobody and it's just road rage. He would always tell me, if it's not going to matter in five months, don't give it more than 5 seconds. Just move on with your day.
It's funny how many things used to be just like also weapons, like the club, the mag light.
Yeah.
There were all these things that was just like, also you can beat someone, you can end someone's life with this as well.
Police still walk around with a club? With a billy club?
So.
I feel like that's not going to do anything. There's no reason.
Oh, that shit hurts. Are you kidding?
Club? You ever get hit with a bill? You ever get arrested?
I've been handcuffed twice. I was never put in jail. How about
sexually or by the law?
Handcuffed sexually, cheetah print. It was a cop. No.
Why'd you get handcuffed? What'd you do?
Twice. One time I was two times. First of
all, you're innocent.
I was innocent. I was peeing on the street. It was like next to a firehouse, and some cop, which by the way, cops and firemen fucking hate each other. You don't think he's gonna you think a cop would think this is hilarious, but he comes over to me and fucking handcuffs me.
Because you were peeing?
I was peeing, yeah.
Come on.
And he let me go.
Yeah, but a handcuff, you could just give him a ticket.
Yeah. No, I should have gotten a summons or something. And I've gotten summons for like drinking on the street and shit. By the way, I was with Dan, who's a bartender at the Cellar now, Dan Hall, my buddy. And one time we're on the street and we're just drinking. And Dan is such a pro, like, kid from the village and whatever. And he, some cop gives us tickets. He goes, it's going to be this much money. And Dan goes, yeah, I know the drill.
Yeah.
And then they go, you can finish the beer, which I'm like, guess what? Then it's not that serious a crime if you're letting us complete it, whatever. Yeah. But the other time that was like the real close call was in New Orleans, and it's never been like bad, really. I've been lucky, but I was in New Orleans and I was smoking a blunt on the street with a bunch of kids. I was like 19. I was a freshman, and we're smoking blunts. I don't know these kids. Out of nowhere, the cops. We're at like a frat house, and all these cops handcuff all of us. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, I'm new to school. My parents are gonna kill me. And that's all I'm thinking about. And maybe I'm 18, actually. I was probably 18. And I'm handcuffed, and they're going through our pockets, and they go through, to this day, I have a little notebook in my back pocket. So they found this shit. Right. And they go, what is that? I said, I'm a comedian. I'm a fucking kid. But I'm like, I don't know what to say. So I'm like, proud. I'm a comedian. They go, oh, yeah, we'll see about that. They start reading the jokes from my dumb book. And after every joke, they're like, that's horrible. You stink. They're just trashing me. They're like, you're the worst fucking comedian ever. You're terrible. And the guys who are handcuffed with me are laughing too, because it's a funny situation. But I'm like, oh my God, this is humiliating. It felt like 20 minutes. It was probably like 4 or 5. But they're just trashing me. And then finally they just were like, all right, get the fuck out of here. And they uncuff all of us and let us go. And as they leave, one of the guys I'm handcuffed with turns to me and he goes, dude, I had cocaine on me, but they didn't search me because of your jokes.
There you go. See,
I saved the day.
Comedy saves lives.
Comedy saved the day. My shitty jokes saved an arrest for 4 people.
Dude, here we go. Patreon.com/Christy Comedy. We always ask at the end of the show, the only way to get involved on the YouTube show is Patreon.com/Christy Comedy. You ask a question.
This is really good whiskey, by the way.
I'm
really proud
Bodega
of this
Cat whiskey is genuinely amazing whiskey. You can do that. You can ask questions on the show to our guest or to me. We pick 3 a show. So here we go. This is from Tanner Largent. Who would win in a 1-versus-1 basketball game between Sam Morril and Chrissy Buckets?
Without question, Chris. I mean,
I don't know.
No, dude. Remember we did that gig at Bleacher Report.
Yeah, well, with Ryan Howard, the first baseman for the Phillies.
He was a great power hitter.
A great power hitter,
dude.
Great big butt.
Oh, dude, fucking fat ass.
I know. I was like, dude, you got a high ass.
I
He was
want to
like,
dip my nose in it.
I was like, where's your home run power come from? He went like that, girl.
I was like, hell yeah, dude, look at this sweet ass. No, Chris, dude, so we're playing Knockout, and it was me, Chris, a bunch of comics, and the whole staff, and it came down to me and Chris, and I was really pleased. Remember this?
Yes.
I was hitting every shot, and I was like, I'm fucking hanging in. I was proud, and Chris doesn't fucking miss.
Yeah.
And I'm getting some that rattling. Every shot Chris takes looks like Steph Curry, where it's like, whoosh,
Yeah.
whoosh, whoosh, and I'm just like, is this fucking asshole not going to miss a shot? So I have a couple, as I'm getting tired, they rim out, and I jump up and tip them in,
Yeah.
and I'm like staying alive, but Chris just wouldn't fucking miss, and Chris won the whole thing, and I was like, this dude can play.
Yeah, because I just was envisioning in the side of my head, just taking me back to my teenage years when my dad would make me shoot 1,000 jump shots, and he'd be on the sideline be like, "If you miss, you're gay."
Chris can hoop.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
All right, here's from Graham. Would you rather? Would you rather smoke crack with Hunter Biden, have drinks with Bill Cosby, or have a sandwich in public with Jared from Subway?
This is
Sometimes
really
the fans have better questions.
This is really funny. That's a really
good one. So
we have this problem with me and Norman. We'll have like our people write in shit that I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's better than any. Yeah, from Graham. Smoke crack with Hunter Biden, have drinks with Bill Cosby, or have a sandwich
I'm gonna
in
go
public
with the sandwich with Jared because the drink with Cosby, that's dicey, dude.
Dicey, yeah.
And I don't want to smoke crack. Problem is, like, what's worse for you, crack or a sandwich from Subway? Let's be real. That avocado ain't real. That bread ain't real.
Yeah.
Crack might be real.
Crack might be real. Yeah. See, the only reason why I'd probably pick smoke crack with Hunter Biden is because I think like I've been really on a kick lately. Like I want to try drugs. I've never done it. I want to try it. And I think if you're going to try crack, you do it with the pro, and that's Hunter Biden.
He is a survivor.
He is.
I heard he's got a sweet dong.
Dude, one of the girls in his video, like one of the girls like that they showed in like his video that was like all over the news, like a montage of videos or was on the internet, like him with like prostitutes or like just kind of girls doing coke with. One of those girls like would come into the Comedy Cellar like every week.
Really?
Yeah, and hang out with I'll tell you who the comic was off air, but like they were with each other every single week. I was like, I like personally, not personally, but like I know that girl. Like it was when I was in the Comedy Cellar every night. I was like, I would talk to this girl while the guy she was with was on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, and she never told me anything about smoking crack with Hunter Biden.
Well, Hunter just got past the Cellar, and I'm excited to see his 5.
Yeah.
He's got some good act out stuff. He's like, my dad, guys.
Yeah.
My dad.
A lot of stuff about China.
He's doing a rough job.
Hunter Biden, I think, I'd pay to hang out with Hunter Biden.
Yeah, it's like the classic, like the politicians might not be fun. Trump is probably a fun hang. But other than Trump, like, are they fun? Like, Biden's not a fun hang, but Hunter, the kids of the politician, like, you want to do coke, do it with Don Jr.
Yeah.
That guy's getting the good shit.
Yeah, 100% good. Yeah, I want to Chelsea Clinton. Maybe not her.
Maybe not her, actually. That's interesting. Well, I think maybe it's like if the dad is fun, the daughter's not.
I bet you the Obama girls are fun.
The Obama girls are
I bet you the Obama girls are fun.
And Obama's probably fun.
Yeah.
Obama hoops.
Obama does hoop. Yeah. One of the girls, I think one of the older daughter was a fan of Girl Code and like loved.
Really?
Yeah, she like loved. So she would like watch Girl Code. I remember like MTV was like, she loves Girl Code. And we're like, which one of us? And they were like, no, not any of the guys.
Damian Lemon.
Yeah.
She doesn't like you.
Yeah, no, she definitely didn't like
no,
me.
Maybe.
No.
Dude, she might, Obama's daughter?
Oh, isn't
they seem
Obama's daughter
cool.
with somebody famous? Isn't she?
Doesn't she write for Atlanta? Or she writes for something, dude.
Oh, she's a writer. Well, she's a not comedy, but Clifton Powell Jr. Oh, okay.
Obama and Trump are such different types of fun. Where like Trump would be fun, like at a casino in AC.
Yeah.
And Biden, I mean, not Biden. Obama, you're like, I want to watch like a Knicks game.
Yeah.
With Obama.
Yeah.
I want to go to a strip club with Trump.
Yeah.
I don't even like strip clubs, but with Trump it'd be fun.
I feel like it's just like too, like the only difference is like, like one would bomb the Middle East sober, one would bomb the Middle East drunk.
I've always said Trump versus Biden is like a drunk driver versus the guy who keeps falling asleep at the wheel.
Trump doesn't drink.
He drinks Diet Coke.
Just Diet
That's
Coke,
all
but
he drinks.
he's sober. He does not
Doesn't
drink
even drink
alcohol.
coffee.
No. Oh, really?
I
How
don't
do
think
people
so.
get through life who don't drink coffee?
Well,
I have no idea how
Diet Coke has caffeine, but I need that coffee taste too. That taste, like I can't do the energy drinks either. I need the the good shit.
Yeah, I was doing my intermittent, fasting in San Francisco, and I was at this place called Phil's Coffee, and every morning, like I would try to eat from like 11 to 6 or like 11 to 7.
How do you do 11 to 6 and then do shows at night?
Well, that's what. Well, I heard Rogan actually talk about, and Cat Williams say that when they do shows, they fast and they have better shows. So I was like, let me try it. And I will say, dude, the mental clarity I had when I fasted versus when I didn't was pretty noticeable. Unless it was placebo, but even placebo is still reality.
Well, you heard with Akeem Olajuwon when he played against the Knicks in the finals.
Ramadan, right?
Ramadan. So he's not eating, and he would say like, they're like, is it hard? He's like, yeah, but I'm so focused, and I'm like, damn, that's.
Yeah, well, they said like I noticed like every time now that I've been doing the fasting, when I do eat, like I notice like a rush of blood like to my stomach. It makes you like lightheaded. It makes you tired. Like it's all a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long I keep doing it, but right now the thing is, it's not hard. Like truthfully, like it's not like, I know this is gay, but I say like it's not like it's the first time I've adopted an actual lifestyle, not a diet. It's like this is just the way I'm going to try to be, because I'm actually finding myself like if I just drink 2 glasses of water and have coffee, I actually don't even start getting hungry till 11 or 12.
I don't like to eat first thing in the morning. I do it sometimes if I have to.
You probably intermittent fast and you don't even realize it. That's
no.
I
I like to not eat first thing in the morning. I like to.
But already just that puts you in like a class of people that
That's
like
true.
Because even just delaying eating, that's like if you start eating right away, especially like breakfast foods are all like. It's the breakfast industry, the cereal industry. Like, there's no like a muffin is just a piece of cake, or like there's no reason you don't have.
Remember,
to eat eggs,
I used to
cheese,
think
and
muffins
bacon.
were healthy as a kid.
No,
remember thinking that? You never thought that? Yeah, I did. Like a corn muffin, they're like, I'm like, this is healthy. It's just fucking sugar. You look at the nutritional facts of a muffin. I mean, bagel in my household was like the big thing.
Yeah, the
It's
bagel's like
bagel?
500 cal. Like it's so bad.
And I love them. Well, that's the thing too.
We
the
can
problem
have it
is
once in a while.
I like to wait to eat, but the problem is I like breakfast. So
Just
on the road,
I do too. I delay breakfast. I just have breakfast.
I know, but it's
That's
hard to
all.
find a breakfast place at 2 p.m.
Yeah, when you're in Toledo.
Yeah. Toledo's a bad city.
Toledo's a bad.
Ohio's got some good cities. Toledo is a dreadful one.
Toledo, and I've said this on stage before, Toledo, a city like Toledo, Ohio, looks like it's already been nuked, and you should go there. If there's ever a nuke, because they will nuke New York and LA, go to cities like that, where the Russians are like, I think we hit this one already.
If you want to be safe, for sure. For sure, yeah. That's the type of the gig where you go into the hotel room and you shake the weight of the ceiling fan to see if it can hold you.
Yeah.
That's if we need to end things here. It's like a glass manufacturing city. It's a very depressing city. Cleveland and Columbus are solid cities.
Yeah, Columbus, I think, is the best city in Ohio. It's kind of
Cleveland's
the
got some
Cleveland's
character
awesome.
though.
Cleveland's awesome.
Although if
but
you
I
have to
love
live in a
Columbus.
city though, Cleveland you got the sports teams, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, Columbus, you have the fucking Blue Jackets.
Right.
You have like a random.
Columbus
hockey-
is
but
very
Ohio
nice.
State, you have football.
That's true, but man, Indians, you got
The Guardians.
Oops, holy shit!
We
Look
take
at me.
that seriously here on the Chrissy Chaos podcast.
Wow, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. We started with a baby rape joke, and we ended like, you piece of shit.
Well, yeah, Guardians, and then who else do they have? They have, the fucking Cavs are stacked right now.
I know, they got Donovan Mitchell. What the most embarrassing thing to happen for the New York Knicks? You and I talked about this.
I didn't want him.
You didn't want him because they wanted too much. You and I spoke about this. They wanted too much.
Too much.
I get it.
I think he's a great player. I think he's like a New York guy, which is cool. But like, Danny Ainge just trying to fucking fleece the Knicks, and it ain't happening anymore, bro. Leon Rose he's gonna take us back to the promised land.
I love Leon Rose.
Yeah.
Leon Rose, the ladies man.
That's an underrated movie.
How great was that movie? I think that was one of the best SNL spin-off movies ever, and people don't give it enough credit. Leon
Will
Phelps,
Ferrell,
you got
dude.
the ladies man.
Anytime you get Will Ferrell in anything, it's just like you're gonna be good. I mean, his whole thing being obsessed with Greco-Roman wrestling
So
dudes,
funny.
naked, oiled up, like it's
the best.
Yeah,
you guys ever seen The Ladies Man?
Yeah.
That's another movie you probably can't make.
No,
today.
you can't make that.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Tim Meadows.
That
is
would
great.
be like Andrew Tate energy now, right?
Yeah.
I don't know though, because he was like there was like a sweetness to it though. The fact that he was kind of effeminate giving that advice, I think, kind of helps a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows was fucking hilarious.
Tim Meadows is the best.
funny.
I feel like we can get a guy like Tim Meadows to pod. I feel like we can get him on our pod
because he seems like
he
he'd be
lives in
down.
New York.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and Colin Quinn knows him very well. He was at Colin Quinn's wedding. I met him at Colin Quinn's wedding, and I was dude, I was like, love you. I was like, of course, like the ladies' man. He was like, thanks so much. And he was like, dude, Colin Quinn at the wedding was so funny to be at a comic. This was years ago, but I still laugh. Like he literally is like doing his vows. Like this is like the vows thing, whatever. And his wife gives a beautiful speech, and it was kind of like, had like nice jokes, because he had just had a heart attack, whatever. And she was like, I love your heart, whatever's left of it. Like, like things, like fun jokes, right? And then, who the hell is that? Sal. Oh, Sal's got the keys. I forgot. And then, no, almost done. And then Colin goes, Colin was like, he goes, all right. He goes, she finishes, and then he goes, in the crowd, Jerry Seinfeld was there, so he goes, before he's about to start, and he's starting, he's like, I love you, and then he goes, hold on, he goes, is Jerry here? He goes, is Seinfeld in the crowd? And Jerry's like, I'm here, but he's like, all right, I want to make sure Jerry sees this. You're you're probably the most important person in my whole life. And like turns to his wife, and then I remember she like hit him, like it was like the best vows because they waited like so long, like, and then it was funny, like
he's the best.
That was like one of the most fun weddings I was ever at, because I was like, like they just were like just comics.
I just went to Dana Gould's wedding in California, and Dana's an incredible comic, and he gets married to his wife Kat, and they are so comedy conscious.
Speaking of Cat, Bodega Cat,
Bodega Cat,
BodegaCatWhiskey.com.
But they're so conscious of annoying people with vows and stuff that this is their entire ceremony. They have a guy come out, reads one line from the Bible. As he opens the book lights on fire. And they go, I guess we can't do this. They close it. They go, let's party. Yeah. That's the whole wedding.
I love that.
And then it's just open bar and great food.
Dude, Mike Cannon. I was at Mike Cannon's wedding a few years ago, and it was awesome. His wife, Nicole, great. She was like shotgunning beers while she was putting her dress on. Everyone was like, you can have fun. One of the ushers had no pants on. Like, nobody gave a fuck. It was just great. And then I was at another wedding in Mexico. It was the worst experience. And it was like a month after
Mexico?
That. It was so fucking
I'm already
bad.
annoyed you had to get a passport to go to a fucking wedding.
They stopped down the wedding reception, so like they could have like a coordinated dance. I was like, what the fuck is this? Nobody wants to do this. And then they got divorced like 3 months later.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm
not getting in trouble for that.
No, keep it in.
Yeah.
It's important they know.
Yeah.
Let them know. Yeah, it's always at the wedding, they're like, it's going smooth sailing. They're like, all right, Uncle Earl wants to make a statement, and he's just like 20 minutes of I remember when you were a child. And we're like, ugh, just fucking wrap it up.
Yeah.
No one's here for Uncle Earl. Come on.
Remember Rachel's wedding? Sherrod Small started giving a speech with a yarmulke on. He was like, I had sex with somebody's bridesmaids.
Sherrod had a hot one.
Yeah, Sherrod was great.
He saved the day.
There was I remember people started to try to outdo each other, comics, and then towards the end, it like started to be like, people started bombing, and then they just were like, let's just get the mic back. And then Amy Schumer, remember she came up, she's like, Rachel, you look so good in that dress. What do you have, AIDS?
Classic wedding.
Classic
Great wedding.
AIDS joke. All right, guys.
The only other time I've been to Staten Island.
That's it. That's true.
Your podcast or Rachel's wedding.
And both full with AIDS jokes.
And both well worth it.
All right, Sam, where can people see you? What's going on?
When does this come out?
This will be out on not tomorrow, next Tuesday. So what is that? Tuesday, the Tuesday the 20th, September 20th.
Oh, I'll be in the Irvine Improv this weekend.
Great room, Irvine Improv.
Omaha, Funny Bone, Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Lexington, Kentucky, where I will be doing a Bodega Cat meet and greet. We're serving the drinks at the shows in Lexington, Kentucky. I can't fucking wait because Kentucky has got awesome lax liquor laws.
Hell yeah.
Jersey Stress Factory, OKC. Got my new podcast, Games with Names, with Julian Edelman, my man. I love him. He's the best guy, sexy man.
God, gorgeous.
Only Jewish Super Bowl MVP in football history. Games with Names, new episode. We have Peyton Manning. Paul Pierce, The Truth, is on it. He's my biological father. He fucked my mom. Paul Pierce, it's a bummer, but he was a great guest.
Love it.
And what else? We might be drunk with Mark Normand. The new special, same time tomorrow on Netflix. Am I still talking? I'm the worst. Anyway, I had a great time being here. I love you, Chris.
I love you, baby. Check out Sam's merch on his Twitter.
Mike, I called you Mike instead of Homeless Pimp because I care about you.
Thank you.
There it is. Go check out Sammy Babes. And, of course, here every Tuesday, Chrissy D, Chrissy Chaos. Love you.